Hi Mark, this morning our lovely subject is about knees. So before I start talking about knees, or you start talking about knees, can you just introduce yourself?
Hi Paul, I'm Mark Booth. I've been doing sports injury and osteopathy for 25 years. There's nothing I haven't treated in the past over the 25 years. I started off as a sports therapist, then started teaching sports therapy, then I moved on to sports injuries, then teaching sports injuries, then I did an osteopathic degree, hence here I am now. I've worked with about 4 different Great Britain teams, so I'm fairly up to date as far as you can be on most injuries to do with the body.
Brilliant. Can I just ask you, or dive straight into what are the common causes for knee injury as a runner?
As a runner, the common things we come across a lot of injuries. Poor core would be up there with the few, which just means to say the midriff area, the body isn't as strong as it should be to cope with the impact of running. Other ones are poor biomechanics, dropped arches, things like that. Secondary things is trainers too old, not renewing your trainers often enough to keep the stability and the cushioning working good to stop the impact into the joints, which obviously is a big thing as running goes. And the other one would be tracking problems, to do with the body, sitting cross-legged, watching TV awkwardly, simple little things which twist your body, then all to do with running is very symmetrical. And if we're sitting cross-legged or watching TV for 2 or 3 hours, all these things are going to be things which slow us down and slow down our mechanics with the running and create injuries as well.
How can we prevent us from not getting so injured with our...
Great question, and that question leads on to lots of other things in there, but key things is keeping a good posture, maintaining a good core, checking your biomechanics, nutrition's high up there as well, and being as preventative as possible to keep yourself out there running and enjoying it. That's where your flexibility comes in lots as well.
One common question, what if you're diagnosed with arthritis in your knees? Can you run with that diagnosis?
Yeah, 100%. The problem is going to see the doctors, nothing wrong with that, absolutely great. The problem you do get is the doctors aren't as up to date as we are with the biomechanics, sports injury and limb problems. Everybody starts arthritis, osteoarthritis, at the end of the day is only wear and tear. It's your joints having too much pressure, too much impact, all the rest of it on there. And running is not that bad for you. As long as you do all the things right, you've got the correct trainers, you do your flexibility. A lot of people I see have been diagnosed with arthritis and we're still running today at the age of 50, 60, 70 even. It's just wear and tear. You can still run, but do get it checked out by a professional.
Brilliant, that's good news. Also, can you show us some stretches that we can do to aid prevention?
Yeah, without doubt. Prevention, I'll run you through the stretches in a moment, but one of the key things with running, the key thing I get the guys to do is drills before they actually run. So warming up for 2 to 5 minutes, and then do some walk lunges, high knees, side stepping, and then almost like hopping drills. And what you've done there is you've made each major muscle group you're going to use to run. Your glutes, your quads, your hip flexor, your calf have to do something dynamic to stretch it. Especially the walk lunges is great. And it just allows you to do your session easier, and you've mechanically opened up their major muscle groups.
How about for stretching after a run? You wouldn't recommend just going straight to a cafe, having a cup of tea? Or...
No, it's the common thing. Runners like to just run and they ignore all the things they should do to help them keep running. And rushing off, not time, kids, family commitments, everything else. But really, I prefer people to cut their run short, to spend 5 minutes stretching, because the next day that'll pay dividends, because they won't ache as much, they won't pick up the injuries as much. I'll give you some real simple stretches here which will really help with stretching the major muscle groups to keep you running and injury free.
Brilliant.
So one of the key ones is ball curling, especially if you have a sitting job, rolling the back up, decompressing the lower back. Don't forget, running is 3.5 times your body weight, so the compression you get whilst running in the back's quite heavy. So laying on the floor, ball rolling, nice and relaxed, exhaling as you're pulling the knees up the chest is going to be great. Then lower back, glute, and into the hip flexor, drop the leg over, exhale, look away, and you can hear my back clicking about. Stretches in, down the leg and into the hamstrings. Then from there, pulling the knee up, we're going to get the mid hamstring. If we pull onto the calf, we're going to get the lower hamstring all the way into the glute. Then we want to do hip flexor, glute and quad. We push the leg away gently to begin with. Each of these stretches we should hold between about 10 to 20 seconds, but the key is to relax. Hand through, pull up. Gets into this area here again if we've called the piriformis, and if we've been sitting lots, it really does open that area up as well.
One of my favourite stretches.
Great. Then we can roll over, face down on the floor. Don't forget, if we're tired, it's much safer to do the stretches on the floor because of your balance on there. We can pull the glute in, nice and relaxed, get into that hip. If we clench the buttock now and push it into the hip, it's your hip flexor as well. Then we can take that a step further, just come up, extend what we call the cobra in there. Then we can drop back on the heels, stretch our quads and glute open there as well. And then one of my favourites, which is great for the runners, is our hip flexor. Real one, again, sitting, driving, we shorten. Real good one to keep open, especially with the sitting or driving job. So what we're doing is pushing into the buttock, forcing our pelvis down, tipping the head backwards. Just be a bit careful on this one if we're suffering from lower back problems. Good. Then we can come up from there, couple standing up, hamstrings, cross the leg over, drop down and just relax the body in. You can push back with this leg, opens the hamstring up nicely. Great. From there, again, we can just open the legs a little bit, drop down forwards. We can drop the leg foot that way, looking face up, get into the abductor as well. Both sides, drop one side, then into the other. Nice and relaxed, keeping the back up at the same time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Mark.
That's all right.